Layton Autobody. There you go. Oh, Deja Blue has a yellow back. Okay. Well, here we are. We're right outside Robbie Layton. Picked up a t-shirt. I actually just talked to the guys. Like, wow. Okay, this is the Bronx Star. I guess that's Puma. Totally awesome. There's his pickup. Yeah, I got to see the bread truck in various stages. King Fred being torn apart. Wow. Coolness, man. It's cool. All right, so sorry. The trash man just came by. So I'd give him room to make all the noise he needed to make. Whatever, peace and army. All right, so Robbie's question was, why are people so rude on social media? I don't know. I mean, the way I look at it is, if you're providing entertainment, you're kind of like in the service industry, right? And some people just are rude to their service providers. It's just the way they are. Nothing you can do about it, okay? Just accept it and move on, right? Somebody says, hey, you're bald. Okay, fine, whatever. Because actually, I'm not exactly bald, but my hair is very thinned out, yes. So get over it, okay? But, the other part is he's also in a car building, vehicle building business. That's his YouTube business to some extent, right? I mean, at the time I was there, he was building the bread van, which actually looks pretty cool now. They were taking apart the King Fred, the wrecker, and they had just gotten their banana replica from Matt's Off-Road, right? And I'm sure there was other things going on too. I mean, these guys are always busy, right? But so there are questions. Some people might say, like, when I was younger, it was Chevy versus Ford, right? If you were a Ford guy, you can't stand Chevy. If you're a Chevy guy, you can't stand Ford. It's that simple. And if you're a Pontiac guy, you kind of go along with the Chevy guys, okay? So part of it's that people just are, no, my position's right and you're wrong, and they have to say so, okay? Get over it. Just accept it, move on. It's that simple. So I don't know. I think some people don't even know what they're saying or what they're doing is rude. I mean, it's just who they are. Now, what? Yeah, I'm just a YouTube person, and not even all that good a one. Okay, fair enough. I used to work for the DMV, right? Used to do software development. I used to be a supervisor there over programmers. Yes. So when they got the difficult questions, they asked me to help with the call. Okay, fine. I don't really care what the rules are. Just tell me what it is you're doing, and let's see how we make it all fit. It's amazing the number of dealers. I mean, the person who owns the dealership is responsible for everything dealing with selling cars in their dealership. And part of it is knowing how the software works. And some of these guys, like, they didn't even know how to turn a computer on, right? I mean, I get it. They're good at selling cars, right? And they like meeting people and selling cars and helping people out. Okay, that's cool with me. So what they would have is they'd have somebody else who helps out with the back-end paperwork, which is part of what our DMV system was. Okay, there you go. So there you go. That's my experience with being a service provider, so to speak. So yes, I have some experience with it. People want to drag me into political discussions. They're like, well, that's not what I'm here for. I don't really want to take any sides on that kind of stuff. I'm only here to help you get your system going. That's all I'm here for. That's all I want to focus on. Okay, that's the way it is. All right, so there's that. I mean, some people just don't know it. Some people are purposely being rude. Some people are actually trying to get a rise out of you, get you mad. Okay? I'll tell you one thing right now. If you own the YouTube channel, you can delete people's comments. If it's that bad, they're like, yep, yeah, oh, sorry, your comment disappeared. I don't know what happened. Oops, sorry. I actually did that to one person. They were getting kind of like, well, two people actually, but first I remind them, hey, this is not the place. Like I said, it was that VinFest thing. Okay, whatever. So there's those things. Some people just don't know. Okay? Just move on. Be a bigger person. Okay? I don't know. If you have an idea on it, feel free to express it, but yeah, you just can't help it. You're in the service industry. You just have to kind of grin and bear it. And if it gets really nasty, delete. Block. I've never had to block anybody. I just came in and said, I don't want this on my channel. If you continue, I have to delete it. And they stopped. Okay? Like I said, there's other places you can have that conversation. All right, anyway. I don't know if this exactly helps what you want to know, Robbie, but it's just part of the media, the interface with people. Okay? You can't help it. Peace and harmony. Yeah, so I hope that helps a little bit, Robbie. I don't know. For the most part, people aren't too rude. They'll say, hey, you forgot this. But I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. Either I forgot it or I kind of glossed it over, which is probably a fair statement. And just move on. Okay? I don't know. You know, as much as I've mulled it over in my head, it doesn't feel like it's the complete right answer. But a few words from some crazy old guy in Texas. All right, so I just finished watching the Matt's Off-Road games. Yeah, I didn't realize until I watched this series of videos how much I would miss it. Right, and I heard that last year was cold and rainy, which doesn't appeal to me, but I mean, for you guys out there in Utah around this time of year, I guess it's kind of expected to some extent. For somebody from Central Texas, no, that sounds horrible. But I'll have to try to make it there next year, right? I mean, you got to go at least once. You got to enjoy it at least once. I mean, yes, am I an EV person? Yes, I am. But, you know, if other people are driving around in high-powered gas and diesel vehicles, putting on a show, I mean, the show is enjoyable. Why not? All right, so there was a comment made, and Rich Rebuilds was your partner this year, Robbie, or Robbie Layton Nation, right? Okay, whatever. On the JK, did I get those letters right? I don't know. Those letters are kind of muddled together for me. But there was a comment made, hey, you should have EVs. Okay. You know, going back and looking at Rich's channel, there's at least some stuff in there about rebuilding or restoring EVs from salvage state. Why not? Why not? I mean, it would not appeal to the majority of your customers, but building, there was a guy driving a purple Jeep, right? If you took that purple Jeep, left the axles and drivetrain in place, and somehow found a way to hook up an electric motor with probably, I guess, a reducer or something, because it's been too fast, right? You need, it has low end torque. I don't know how it'd work. But if you took a box electric motor, plugged in enough batteries to give you a 150, 200 miles range, that might be interesting. Of course, I would tend to think if you use the Tesla Model 3 motors, but that's not what we're talking about. But if you were to go that way, so like my Model 3 is all-wheel drive, I would think that the drive shafts in that chassis, or the half shafts, whatever they are, they wouldn't hold up in the kind of environment you are. You could build up the suspension, all that. That's the one thing I'm thinking would be a problem. But otherwise, and of course, you couldn't just drive all day and then have a couple of jerry cans of gas to fill it up, right? You can't do that with an electric car. But for some of the stuff you do, it's not that far. And having 150, 200 miles range, which should be more than enough. Anyway, it would be curious, right? And if you found the cheap enough way to do it, it would be very interesting. Okay, whatever, peace and harmony. That's just where I'm at with that one. But as always, man, it's always interesting to watch all you guys, and especially the biggest cheater. But anyway, onward, upward charge. All right, so let's see if we can just wrap up a little bit here. So Robbie Layton, I think's what he is on YouTube. I'll have to go back and look. But first of all, his shop is about body repair and paint, right? That's what the people who are doing the real work in the shop do. But I mean, I guess there's a certain amount of other stuff that goes on when you're messing with bodies. Now, actually, I've only met five of the crew, right? So I met 5 of the crew, and they've since added Owen, and then the other guy from, is it Columbia? Wherever it was from. I'm sorry, I haven't caught his name. But wow, cool. So if you're interested in watching the antics of some crazy guy and his team building crazy vehicles, and by crazy vehicles, I mean, they go off-road. They do overlanding. And they go out and help other people who get stuck, and they help recover their vehicles. It's all pretty cool stuff if you're into it. So if you're into it, you owe it to yourself to go by Robbie Layton just to take a view. And his last build for Matt's Off-Road, wow. I mean, saying that's a jalopy, but the big difference is, don't forget, Robbie's a painter. Yeah, great paint job. Anyway, onward, upward charge. If you have half an interest, take a look. Onward, upward.